Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can manifest a long-term committed relationship, how to manifest love. Now, if you are quite new to manifesting, what I advise you to do is head over to my channel and you will see a section on the manifesting 101 basics that you need to really get behind, because we're manifesting 24/7 with our thoughts, with our actions, with our beliefs, with our emotions. So it's so important that you understand the basics. Now, what 87% of the population are doing is that they are manifesting in what we call non-spiritual connections. Another word for that is karmic energies. So there's a really good book that I highly recommend that all of you guys read, and that's by Gary Zukav, The Seat of the Soul. When I read this book from a very young age, the age of 14, my life transformed. I instantly started recognizing that, hold on, I need to really get behind me as a person on a spiritual, on a soul level, to be able to then manifest out not just a person, not just love, but a spiritual partnership. So I'm going to break it down to you. There are 3 types of connections that you will come across. 1, which is your spiritual soul partnership. 2, your non-spiritual soul connection, otherwise known as karmic energies. And 3, what we call twin flame soulmates. So let's take, for example, you ended up manifesting in a karmic energy, which is a non-spiritual connection. Well, that could be turned into a spiritual connection based off your karma, based on your spiritual internal growth, and the burning desire to be with one another. So why don't we become really spiritually smart? Why don't we go direct and say, right, I want to manifest in, I have the desire for my spiritual soul connection. Why don't we just do that? Why do we want to waste time in the 3D world? It's full of drama and delays and distractions. We've all heard of the saying, ladies, you might relate to this, you gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you meet the prince. You've heard of that story? Well, whose story is that? Is that for the insecure woman that needs that man to fill the void? Because even if you do manifesting the man or the love or the relationship in, if you're manifesting from a place that needs a void to be filled, well, guess what? Don't need to be a psychic to know that it won't even stick. So on the other hand, what's interesting about spiritual soul connection is that there is divine energy, universal energy, that holds you both souls together. That's the main glue. That's the special ingredient. That is what makes a long-lasting marriage and relationship, is having that divine energy between you two. It's having the ability where you're able to read each other's thoughts, know how to finish off each other's sentences, because why? You are spiritually linked. You have more link in an energetic way with that person like no one else. But to attract in a spiritual partner, you have to become spiritual from within. And the reason why a lot of people manifesting a karmic energy or non-spiritual connection is because they don't invest enough internal work within themselves, and they go off from the external. So there's a huge difference between the energy of the two. The moment you start shifting internally, quality of your reality starts upgrading. So how do we manifest in this spiritual soul connection? How do we manifest this type of loving? Where do we even start? Well, the first thing you need to do is ask yourself this one question. Are you a leader of your life? Are you a sheep following the crowd? Do you look at the things that you don't want? Because that's a really good exercise to do, because that's going to help you navigate perhaps the areas that you need to improve on within yourself. Say, for example, you have 2 friends and they're constantly arguing and bickering, and there's a lack of trust issues. You automatically are going to say to yourself, that is not the type of relationship that I want. Why are those 2 even together? Why? Because they've been conditioned in a way to be able to stick together, and they don't know their worth and value. So that's where it comes from, knowing your worth and value. And how do you know your worth and value? Well, you're going to be unstoppable when you get behind you as a soul being. You know, the way to really identify if someone has really upgraded themselves is to know what type of person they've attracted, one relationship after another. That person isn't upgraded each and every time. You're still the same person. And let me give you an example. So I was randomly on social media and I came across this young lady, and she's talking about how she went to her therapist and then she identified, well, hang on, my current boyfriend, I'm not really in love with him. So that's great, you've identified it. So what are you going to do about it? Obviously, the relationship broken off. What's your next step? I have to get behind me. Okay, great. Doing the exercises, getting behind herself. A couple of months after, she manifested in another guy. The guy came in, he's totally the opposite from the other guy, by the way. She manifests him in, they end up now getting engaged. But what she doesn't realize is that she's attracted the similar vibrational alignment, the similar vibrational energy of her previous boyfriend, but just in a different version. How did that person come up in her reality? Because she didn't do enough inner work. Now, when I'm talking about inner work, it's about you pulling at the triggers, knowing what you need to identify, what you need to address, melting it away, and totally reprogramming your subconscious mind. That's the mind area. But also going back to the root as to why she's attracted this man. What are the reasons? And the reason, pure and simple, is that she's not invested enough time in her internal, and she hasn't taken her spiritual growth to the next level. Because we're all here to spiritually evolve as spiritual beings, but unfortunately a lot of us are just living a human experience. So when you're living just a human experience, guess what? You're in the drama, you're in the delays, you're in the distractions. So Joe Dispenza actually made a book and he said becoming supernatural. Why do you think he did that? What's the purpose behind becoming supernatural as a spiritual being to enter into that manifesting state? Why? Think about it, guys. So here's a simple exercise that I want you guys to all go away and do. Write down the list of things that you do not want. Look at everyone around you and say to yourself, right, that's not what I'm seeking in a love relationship. That's not what I want in a committed relationship. I don't like the way they talk. I don't like how there's no harmony, there's no peace. Identify everything that you don't want. Then from that list, what I want you to do is start writing down everything that you do seek, and you add the special ingredient of a spiritual partnership. Now, it totally makes our job easier as psychics when you're able to get very specific in the type of person that you want to be attracting in. Why? Because then we're able to download, the names, the descriptions, and then you go into a wow factor. Oh my God, honey, I met this guy and it's exactly how you described him. Well, no, it's the work that you've put in to yourself. It's what you've sent out as a manifestation, and I am seeing it 10 steps ahead. So we can tweak it a bit when we need to. Just remember this, you attract who you are. So if you're seeking to manifest in that long-term committed relationship, the first thing you need to do is get committed to yourself. Get so obsessed with your internal, your upgrade, that you are presented with those quality spiritual partnerships. What's your self-care? What's your self-love? Do you even know your worth and value? Do you even know that if you're internal, when it's done so correctly, that your reality, oh my God, complete and utter change. Transformational. This is what we do, guys. We're not ordinary coaches, like I've said. We are transformational. We are not just therapists. We know your triggers. We know how to pull it out. We know how to really dig deep and transform you into the upgraded version, into getting you ready perhaps for that spiritual partnership. Your voice matters, and we are totally committed to transforming lives. So when you are ready to take that step, head over to our website and subscribe for the upcoming release launch for the public on how to manifest your Pacific person, your love, your business, your career. Remember, your one physical life. Get the edge now.